Alright, so this is a more in-depth look of the final match of Community Game 14. We had a little bit of issues with picking up a couple of the rounds, so I thought we would go through the war reports of what occurred during rounds 5 and 6. Just to give a short overview of what happened before, where we will go through. We had just made our massive play to stack Archangel and hold Corellia at the same time, which was pretty much the play that allowed the entire game to transpose into the end game board that you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah, it's what we built off for the rest of the game. I think that one move. It's what enabled everything else. So it was the starter move to get it rolling.
Oh yeah, so I also forgot to mention that Manix is definitely joining us for this. I thought it would be very important for him to be here so he could discuss his turn more in depth as well.
Yeah.
So we will start with Russia round 5. They purchased 6 infantry, 2 artillery. Their combat was Belarusia and the Kazakh. As usual, Russia taking territories and no losses. It's kind of the theme of this game.
Absolutely.
So on my turn, Germany 5, I did some complex repair, courtesy of, I believe it was the US bomber who bombed my complex to hell. But we had luckily killed that bomber, so things have been taken care of on that route. So I bought 11 infantry, 1 artillery. And I do want to mention one thing before I move into my combat for the turn. I was deploying all my planes to Karelia that I bought, because I bought 2 planes. If I remember correctly, it was one in round 2 and 3. I'm pretty sure it was 2 and 3. No, it was 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
3 and 4, yeah.
I deployed both of those to Karelia, and the idea was we wanted to have CISO 3 dead zone to rights as much as possible, because the US fleet was kind of all over the place, so we were kind of taking advantage of that to keep them out of Norway and Finland as long as possible. But round 5 would be the last round that I do hold those. That I do remember for sure. Our combat was, we hit West Russia. We took Belo. We took Ukraine, and we had to destroy some infantry in northwestern Europe.
You got a sweet fight in northwestern as well. No units lost, destroying 4.
I mean, I went in there with like an absolute monolith of a stack. Like,
yeah. I'm seeing 16 infantry and 2 artillery waiting for that attack, I think. Or was that something else?
13 infantry, 2 artillery, and 2 planes is what did that attack. And this was the second move after Operation Armageddon to go to West Russia. I went there with 20 infantry and 7 tanks.
Oh yeah.
And that pretty much concluded my turn. I did pretty normal mobilization at that point. The UK purchased 8 infantry. I think we had took away quite a bit of their income at this point in the game, so I guess that kind of makes a little bit sense, because I think didn't we own Egypt?
Not on round 5. It was still UK controlled in round 5.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I think I did have it before that. I think did I go in there like round?
Yeah, no, it was somewhere in there. But yeah, we had took away quite a bit of income from the UK, so they bought 8 infantry. Combat moves was lovely, doing 2 damage to Manix's industrial complex in K-Tung. They took Norway and Finland because it was finally open to them, and then they took back Burma. So pretty standard UK turn. Although you would expect the Norway-Finland thing to be like taken by like latest round 3, but we managed to hold it long enough, courtesy of 7 planes in Karelia, and then Manix's entire stack of planes that we had to put in Archangel to hold that.
Yeah, delaying that for 2 rounds is super nice for Germany. Extra 3 IPCs it's pretty decent. Yeah, it's nice to hold it for longer than normal.
And I'll turn things over to Manix to go ahead and I'll let Manix do his turn in the US.
So round 5 then, it was repairing some complex damage straight away. We're not messing around. Repair that damage straight away.
Not being lazy like me and just repairing like 1 or 2 here and there.
And 8 infantry, 1 fighter. 1 fighter, interesting. Okay, and 4 artillery. Okay, so we were thinking about more reinforcements, I suppose, for the north. Bomb Russia. I think we had an agreement, or you tried to make a deal, didn't you, with the Allied nations? That if
this is what so the bombing thing is what led to Operation Armageddon, because I was like in the Discord, all right guys, we need to have a bombing truce here, because I wanted a real game, not I get bombed into oblivion and the game's like completely irrelevant because of that.
Yeah.
and so Mets commander was like, no bombing truces. I was like, all right, Manix, Operation Armageddon's a go.
Rejected outright. No discussion.
And the funny part is Operation Armageddon at that point in time did not exist yet. It really materialized on G4 when I opened the board.
Yeah, it was. I think we did pretty well with the bombing in this game, actually. Considering our history with this particular, these opponents, we get some bad luck, particularly on their side. But yeah, we bombed Russia for 3, which is decent. I'll take that. Took New Zealand again. I think it was just this plan for Japan, because we knew obviously what was going on. There was a KGF from early on, was just to get Japan as quickly as possible, just to become a monster. I think, like we mentioned, before, it's the Transjordan thing was huge. I think
it was
him failing Transjordan early on meant that Africa was weaker than it should have been normally. So it kind of lets Japan in the door slightly that way. They get an easier ride, capturing some territories, Egypt and various things. So yeah, I think that the game plan for Japan was pretty simple. Just get as much income as possible and keep your income high. Just to grab as much land as possible and. Eventually. I was supposed to doing that. I was a bit slower with the land pressure towards Moscow, but when it came harder because I'd obviously grabbed a lot of income. I think the defense was weaker as well because obviously you'd done a good job holding the sea zones, and they had less, particularly the UK, had less income than normal given our raids into Africa, which was nice.
Oh, I had a monster air force. Yeah. Absolute monster air force.
Yeah, it was a beast. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. I mean, hitting a few things. Actually, we had some failed takes in round 5. Japan failed for Logda and Novo, but not the end of the world, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you had shit tons of income.
Yeah, the income was big. I forget how much it was. It was pretty. It was in the 50s. Was it the 50s or 40s? I think pretty quickly. Like by round 3, it was up there. So it was.
Yeah, you at one point you had like 56 income to spend.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, some crazy income. So yeah, we were looking good by round 5. So Matt's commander round 5, US 12 infantry, 1 transport.
You almost forgot to mention that you had to put your planes in West Russia to support my defense.
True. 1 tank, 1 bomber, 4 fires.
Because like this whole game revolves around your planes moving around and me trying to protect them.
Yeah, that's true. And 2 fighters to Italy as well. Okay, so we were thinking again the double, the two-way punch on the season 15 on the med. Keeping Mets out the med was important. Oh god, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. A few bits and bobs. Actually, looking at the non-com for round 5, Japan there's a lot going on for Japan. They've got movement everywhere. But the key move I think was just as he said, the plane move to cover West Russia. And
I'll tell you one thing. I'm super glad before we even started this game that I told you to not let them kick you out of 34.
Yeah.
Because like I think us preparing for that was like the best thing that could have ever happened. Because like all of our initial things that we talked about before this game started, like we were able to use everything, and I'm kind of surprised how well it all came together.
Yeah, true. 34, season 34 is such a powerful zone for the Axis, just to support for Japan particularly. Obviously, just supporting everywhere for Germany. They can just cover everything with ease with planes, and I think we mentioned this before. Like getting there early as well is a good thing. If you tend to struggle to get in later on when the Allies have built up more of an air force. So if you can get some value early on by capping Egypt when they've not got much of an air force already mounted, it's a good time to get in there, which we did. Let's make the most of it. That's good. So pretty good expansion there for Japan. So West Russia was covered. I think we were just thinking about Caucasus at that point when we were just trying to get everything in position for you eventually getting to the Caucasus and.
Round 6 was insane for me. I had to do so many risky things. Like we were playing with fire when it comes to the odds of holding things in this game.
Yeah, I'd agree.
There's a battle coming up on my next turn that I'm gonna highlight. Like how hard we were going for keeping the odds in our favor.
Yeah, some big moves. I think Mets round 5, USA round 5. Just actually he took France briefly, but I think he was still looking for a place to land. He went to season 14, so we were trying to prevent him from going to 15. I think was the idea, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Prevent him from getting any a comfortable position there to start his med shock. But that was the main move I think from the US. Though they were not going. I don't believe they were going north at that time. I think it was pretty much all to the med, wasn't it? I think with their
it was they were trying their heart out to get into the med, and I was like, hell no, you ain't getting in the med, never ever ever.
So I think once we saw that, I think it was before that, but we were trying to have as many planes in range of 15 as we could, just to kind of deny that. So to try and bounce that fleet before it ever arrived. But that was
I know we were even workshopping me buying aircraft carriers at one point just to hit 15.
Exactly. Just to land more planes there. Yeah, we had all the angles covered on that one. Yeah. Round 6, I guess, for Russia then. So 6 infantry, bit of complex repair, 5 points of damage repaired.
They didn't do too much.
No, just Ukraine and Archangel, and that was they moved.
We gave them back Archangel.
Yeah, let them have it, and they moved from a few things from just pull back to Russia with everything pretty much. So they paved the way for your Caucasus stack. So. Round 6, over to you, Germany.
Yep, round 6. So this is my favorite turn in the whole game. Round 6, I bought our MVP of the game, the Destroyer, sitting in season 17.
What a legend!
Who I still say is going to be removed from the med and installed in Moscow. just so the Russian populace can see it in all of its glory. Alright, so I purchased 10 infantry along with the Destroyer. I believe the 1 point of complex repair was the final repairs needed. Could be wrong on that. but I haven't looked too much further ahead, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Combat moves. We took back France because the U.S. loved putting troops in France, but we had a massive stack in Northwestern, so we were adopting a strategy that I remember Quentin talking about of stack shifting. I'm a pretty big fan of that. We took the Caucasus, and the MVP battle of the game, battle of this turn is, believe it or not, the Ukraine attack, because as you can't see from this board, what I did was, because we were so hard up for odds in the Caucasus, and on top of that, I needed to protect Manix's plains in West Russia. What we had to do was, I had to send 7 planes and 2 infantry unescorted. So no infantry support whatsoever. I had to wipe the territory, and luckily we got no hits back on that. And
That was great. That's really fortunate.
And then I non-commed some Bellow guys into West Russia. And let me see, did I leave? I don't know if I can figure out if I left the anti-air in West Russia or not.
Move to Caucasus.
Did it? Did
Yeah.
it? Okay, so we calculated that we actually didn't need that. Okay, alright. So yeah, that pretty much covers my turn. Just taking back the territories, keeping France shored up, and non-comming some stuff to Italy just in case the U.S. tried anything funny.
Yeah.
Or,
This was the round of like the biggest. I think that stack in Caucasus and just doing the calculations for how it would hold against a potential 3-way punch was some serious calculations behind the scenes. Like, because there were a lot of moving parts to that. There was a lot of things to consider, like where things could potentially be, what they might attack with.
I feel like we should have took a screenshot of that calculator just to give people, like, I mean, obviously.
Tabs, at least the tabs. Like,
oh my
at least
god,
3.
yeah. Hell, me by myself, I had like 8 tabs up, and I think you even had more.
Yeah, we had quite a few different scenarios. So I think there was a lot of questions. Sorry, go on.
I remember, like, we would just be running 2 calculations at the same time. Like, I'd be doing France, you'd be doing Germany, I'd be doing Italy, you'd be doing Caucasus, and we would just be doing this for like the whole map.
Trying
It
to
was ridiculous.
speed it up, yeah. Speed running the calculations. Because there was a lot of question marks. Your destroy by was great, but then we thought because the UK had a sub in season 14, so if they took your destroy out, it changes the dynamic, because then the US can fly through 15 and hit you in the Caucasus. It changes the odds, and there's various things to think about if it was realistic to hold. And my air force as well. If I could safely, you could safely move to the Caucasus, and I could still get my air force out of West Russia, which was obviously important.
I mean, luckily for us, the UK didn't have 5 billion planes in Russia.
Yeah, that's true.
Because normally, you'd see maybe 8 planes, and I think they only maybe had 5 or 6, because they still had some in India.
Yeah,
I believe. Because you managed to keep a pretty good threat on India most of the game.
Yeah, that was like a kind of a secondary thing for us, wasn't it, with the Air Force, or at least mine, was just to keep it in range of 15, but also keep it in range of India in case we get an opportunity to snipe it. No, that will change the game. I don't think they didn't have any ground as well, did they? I think in India, sorry, in Moscow. We
did a good job of making sure they couldn't do 3-way or 2 or 3-way hits with guys.
Yeah, that was good. That's always a bonus.
All right. So after that, UK 6, they bought 7 infantry, 1 fighter, combat. I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
They bombed the Caucasus.
Makes me shiver seeing that. Oh,
Yeah,
Horrors
yeah,
of the
you
first
see,
game.
yeah. Let me tell you something. That six, I think I saw more sixes from the UK in the first game than I've ever seen sixes from bombing runs ever.
Yep. I don't think.
Like, I never get this kind of luck with bombing raids. Like, if I send a bombing raid, it's like 1 damage, and that's saying the bomber didn't get shot down.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I
Uh,
don't think we'll ever see a sicker run than that run he had in the first game. That was just insane. It was just super good.
no, yeah, that was ridiculous. I never want to relive that ever, ever.
At least not from that side of it. From the other side, it's fine.
Yeah. If I'm doing that run, hell yeah.
Let's just
But
keep
no,
going.
no, I don't want to relive that. That's terrible.
Never again.
So yeah, they retook Karelia. Kind of saw that coming since I'd moved to the Caucasus. I mean, at that point, the trap door is wide open. There is no stopping the floods.
Yep. It's the
And then-
concession you've got to make, I suppose, getting the Caucasus stack off. You can't stack both Karelia and the Caucasus, but it was the right choice.
Well-
It's the...
Well, I mean, I might have been able to pull it off if I wasn't so busy making sure I keep the U.S. out of France and Italy and all that stuff. Like, so I know in one of my first video, I made sure I said that a school of thought for me when it comes to playing Germany is I don't like trading territories if I don't have to. So if it's safer for me to just keep a fat stack of infantry in France so that the UK can't steal it every turn, I am in favor of that.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't like the UK gaining 6 IPC a turn. Like, that just sends me up a hill that I don't want to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about getting the forward ground as Germany and just stacking it so it can't be traded. The less trades per round, the better. So you're banking infantry for the long game, I suppose. The more trades, the quicker you burn out, and the less time Japan has to move forward.
I mean, you see, that's how in the first game I ended up with like 70 infantry, and then the game lasted forever. The Germany does not die edition. That's what we should call that first game.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll let Manix cover the last of round 6.
Okay. I love this buy. This is the buy I think it always happens at this stage of the game. It's the 8 infantry, 2 tank, 3 artillery buy. So obviously we've got I'll quickly mention we've got a community game going on right now, and it's I've got a guy called Christian playing Japan. He's got the exact same buy every round. It's great because you've got the 2 tanks for Kwantung, which are great forward pressure, and you've got just enough income at this stage to get some artillery mixing as well. It's a nice buy for Japan. But yeah, so at this point, obviously, I think the conquest of the Pacific was pretty much done, I believe. We had Hawaii, we had Madagascar, and I think everything else in between. So the idea was just to use all that income we'd been gathering for all the rounds to just, as much pressure on Moscow as possible. Combat, another retaliatory raid of Russia in response to your...
I like how you rolled a 5 on that.
Yeah, it's good, but not quite as good. It's never going to be a 6. Just can't seem to get it. Do we take India this round? Am I reading that right?
Yes, we do take India this
Destroyed
round.
1 infantry. So he pulled out, didn't he? Okay, so he pulled everything out to Persia. Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
And that's what led up to Operation Deep Impact.
That was it. That was the the spark. So okay, so we're trading India. Obviously, we can't hold it permanently. I think we thought of going too hard to India would throw off my logistics too much. So we took it light.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah, because I think we weren't trying to get distracted. We want to keep our eyes on Moscow, and bringing a lot of transports down to 35 is not ideal because it just throws you off for a good round or so. So yeah, take it light, and we can trade it again if we need to. But yeah, India was taken for Logda. Again, I failed Vologda. That's my curse this game. Apparently, I just couldn't get.
Well, don't worry. They couldn't take it back the turn that we went to take Russia.
That's
so
true.
It ended up working out.
It did work out. Yeah, we got the key battle and took Novo. Non-com 5 fights to Caucasus, and we moved some things to France. again, just being as annoying as possible for Metz. We've got one bomber and 2 fighters moved to France, so that bomber being in France, it can just range so much in the Atlantic Sea. So it just, yeah, for Metz it was a headache that never really went away, which was good. And yeah, moved the main stack, it looks like, to Sichuan. Just, again, keeping the pressure from Moscow for as long as possible and moving forward. Is that pretty much it for round 6, Japan, I think?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, just reinforcing bits and bobs. The main thing is this was the fighter positions. Just Caucasus.
Yeah, that literally is the key to like this entire game, like where we put fighters at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the game of the Air Force, really, wasn't it? So I think at this point we had, I don't, can you remember the specific odds we had on Caucasus? Because it wasn't guaranteed by any means. I think there was
I think you figured out the 3-way punch. We had like maybe a 70% to hold.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a little bit lower if the U.S. was able to bring in their 14 fleet to do the assault as well.
Yeah.
But the reason why we went for this is whenever you told me the profit was be like 100 IPCs, I was like, hell yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I think every option we gave them, like the West Russia fight, the Caucasus fight, the battle for them to make it work, they had to. One of the nations had to be pretty much just sacrificed. Like all the Air Force, I think, so the US would have had to give in everything they could to make the odds favorable for Russia.
It wasn't only the US. Like, I think you figured it out that it would have to be the UK and the US had to sack their entire Air Force.
Yeah.
Which I think at that point was like 13 planes total for both of them, I believe.
Which is just devastating. Yeah.
Like you just can't come back from that kind of like destruction.
No.
I mean, especially if we still have our air forces, like that's catastrophic.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because like if they had went for that, I think you would not have had your air force, but I still would have. Yeah,
and I think that's probably the better way for it to be as well. You would have a real hard time replacing yours, whereas I could be a bit more flexible, I suppose. And I would still would have had.
You just have shit tons of money.
Exactly. I could drop some tanks for plane production. That's totally fine. I still would have had the 3 in France as well. I still had 2 fighters and a bomber in France, even if you did take out the stack in Caucasus. So the trade would have been well worth it for us. And that's even if it went badly. Like if it went with odds, it's just a really bad fight for the Allies to take. It's not comfortable at all. So yeah, I think we did a good job of giving them just really bad options either way. I think it was good. Yeah. Okay, so Japan 6, pretty covered. So I think I felt comfortable because I think it was the 3-way punch calculated for round 6. I believe it was. The 3-way punch would have been.
Yeah, it would have started in round 6.
It would have started in round 6. Yeah. So we were already looking better than I think we would have been if the UK committed to that. So that was good. So yeah, US 6, 12 infantry, 1 fighter. No combat, which was great for us. Also round 6. They didn't attack your destroyer. Did we mention that?
Yeah, no, they did. I absolutely love that. They did not attack my destroyer that I deployed in round 6.
So I was surprised. I think we were a bit surprised that he didn't go for that, because it would have been a good chance to get some value for that UK sub. But fair enough. But anyway, so round 6 for US Mats, 12 infantry, 1 fighter. Again, no combat, non-coms. So he moved to C zone 12, which was unusual. I think we were both surprised by that move. So we managed to. Yeah,
we were.
So that one destroyer did the job. Apparently, it would force the entire Atlantic U.S. Navy back away from the Med, which was awesome. I think you spotted that it was probably going to go through the Panama Canal back towards the Pacific.
Oh, I knew it was coming to the Pacific. I was like, why else would you go there?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to move your fleet there unless you're going back to the Pacific.
Yeah, it was very, which I think, again, at this stage, because we're already in round 6 and we've got a stack in Caucasus, I think it's not, personally, I'm not criticising, I know Metz is a strong player, but I think personally I wouldn't have gone back, because I think at that point you've got to commit to one side or another. I think having
at that point the damage has been done.
Yeah. You're never going to be able to mount a strong enough attack by the time, Moscow's going to die before you can do that. It's just, I think you've got to just commit to the shock in the Atlantic, go north, go to season 3 probably.
Which, I mean, they were still kind of committed. I mean, they were sending like all the stuff, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't quick enough. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, true. So, full retreat with the main fleet, at least from Matt's.
Yeah, I got a good laugh out of that. That was pretty funny. I was like, thank God.
That was like the Destroyer's finest moment there, round 6, glorious.
Yeah.
So round 7 for Mannerheim, a bit of some more complex repair for Russia, 4 infantry, 1 artillery, a bit of combat. And this was do you want to take this? This is one of the biggest moments in the game.
Yeah.
I'll let you take over.
I remember this for round 7. This is when he does his little attack on the Caucasus to try to wreck my army, and it fails miserably.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, I mean, like you say, I think we discussed that it was like a calculator error. So
yeah, I think it's just.
I can understand. I can understand that. I've done stupid stuff like that as well. I always find myself like missing something. Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, I started a ranked game as the UK, and I forgot to move my 39 fleet for 2 turns. So, I mean,
been there. Yeah, it happens. It happens.
I'll tell you what the funny thing was about that, though. The Japan decided to go down there and kill that, so it put their entire navy out of position, and because of that, I was able to sink some transports.
Bit of a distraction.
So it kind of worked out. I do love it when me screwing up leads to a nice opening.
That's pretty cool. Nice.
But yeah, so I think since the rest of your video covers the rest of this game pretty good, I think that's a great place for us to stop. I also didn't want to run the video for an hour and a half because so far I've been doing like 30-minute videos, and I kind of like the idea of staying around that time frame.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think it was a nice idea to go back over some of these rounds. I regret very much missing these 2 rounds, because 5 and 6, or was it? Yeah, I think it was 5 and 6, or at least 4, 5 and 6. They were some very important rounds in this game. So to not have the full board on view was a bit frustrating. But I'm glad you've sent some screenshots. I think we covered most of it. I think with the screenshots that you and Mannerheim provided, so that was good. But
yeah, hopefully this video will help really round it out. And one of the main reasons I wanted to do this was because in the future I might want to use this strategy again, and having this readily available for me to see what I did so I don't have to rethink this will be very, very useful to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think other people as well.
I agree.
It's kind of looking like the Duo Cup is going to be, we pick our teams, which might mean me and Manix are coming back to raise hell. True.
I just hope we get Axis, at least in the first game. I want to try and get through the first round with our home team, as it were. But yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
It'll be randomised, just if everyone's wondering. Yeah, I'm hoping we get Axis, but we'll see. But yeah, this game, I think it's a good example of, like, in terms of things to take away, of just causing the Allies some problems with their logistics in the sea zones in the Atlantic. Just having some good plane positions can really cause them a serious problem in landing comfortably, and you can save yourself some income and deny them income by having your fighters in some good spots. So I think that was we did a good job about this game, I think.
Yeah, I think that was like I told you in the Discord, I think we had our Austerlitz.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Like this game, I don't think I've ever seen a game as the Axis where it's been this coordinated. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah, it was cool. No, it went well, and the nice end ball to finish on as well. It's looking healthy.
Yeah.
Nice, orange Moscow.
All right. I'll make sure I link Manix's video in the description, and I suppose if I remember, I will tell Manix to, when my video comes up, to link it in his description as well. and I'll probably put a comment on his video just so I hit all the bases.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, thanks for doing this. This has been cool. Yeah, nice chatting about it.
All right, we'll see y'all next time for when I decide to do another video.
Take care.